Is golf bad for your back? Surely in a sport where we're swinging a golf club potentially over 100 miles an hour, potentially more than 100 times in a round, it's got to be putting some damage on what is known as one of the most problematic areas for golfers. Surely this sport is causing us some problems in this area. Well, my view is that it's not. And in this video, I'm just going to talk you through kind of a few reasons why I believe that golf is not bad for your back. And if you are struggling with some issues in your back, some considerations that you can kind of take away from this video to potentially stop these issues occurring for you in your life. The first thing to note in this video is golf does put a lot of pressure and a lot of load onto our lower back. But what's important to note here is just because something gets put a lot of pressure, a lot of load, doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad for that area. Now, with the kind of nature of the golf swing, there can be pressures of up to 8 times the normal body weight through the area, which is pretty extreme, being so when we're running 3 times our body weight roughly through the area. So golf is really kind of a high demand of pressure to the area. It's maybe therefore no surprise that we see around 25% of all injuries in golf in the lower back area. But even with this large pressure, rotational load, whatever we want to call it, if we swing the golf club correctly, there is more than a safe enough movement for our spine back area to handle. Problem with this, out of the 36 million golfers in the world, how many of us can really say that we swing the golf club perfectly? There are many swing faults or characteristics that could be putting excessive load into certain areas of the lower back, which may result into some issues being experienced in that area. As an example, excessive side bend during the swing is a big cause of some issues in the lower back. Typically, if we see this excessive tilt and excessive rotation, we start to put on some rotational shear, and in simple terms, the lower back just doesn't like these movements or being put into these positions. So if we do see excessive side bend in the golf swing, there could be a reason why we start to experience some difficulties in the swing in terms of some pain reaction. Typically, if this is kind of an issue that you're experiencing, then this pain would be experienced in the lower trail side of the back. So as a right-handed golfer, it would be in the lower right-hand side of your back. If that's something you're experiencing, it's definitely worth having a little look at any excessive side bend that you may be producing throughout the swing. Another area to be noted is excessive separation between the hips and the shoulders. So what happens at the top of our golf swing, as we rotate from the hip and then we rotate further from the shoulder, we get this separation between the hips and the shoulder, which creates this tension. And this is great for us. This is called our X factor. This is really good power generator. And what we often also see is once we get into this position, when we start the downswing with our lower body, we actually increase this separation, increase our power potential, and then this pulls off of the hips and we generate all of that power. You'll see the fastest and kind of most powerful players in the world will really kind of utilize this separation and this X factor. Difficulty here is when we produce excessive amounts of this and our body is not able to withstand this separation, we can also start to get some issues in this area. Now, we've picked some examples there of how your golf swing might be causing some issues in your lower back, but what's important to note here is there was a study, and I'll put the link up to this study here, that actually some golfers that were experiencing pain didn't necessarily contribute the golf as the main reason for their pain. There might be other factors in terms of lack of mobility, being sat at a desk all day, previous issues with their lower back, that all that's happening is when they're playing golf, they're experiencing the pain, which is a symptom of other issues that they've got going on with their back area. In my view, I think it's probably, for most people, a combination of both. If we're experiencing some issues in our lower back area, I would generally say that it's a combination of some lifestyle issues that are going on, whether that's a lack of mobility, lack of flexibility, lack of strength in the area, or spending a lot of time sat down at a desk during the day, and combine that with some swing and poor technique and issues in the golf swing, put over kind of a longer period, we start to see this continuation of issues and grinding, and we start to see some aggravated lower back pain. So what can you do to stop golf causing some issues in your lower back? Because as I said at the start of this video, golf is not bad for your lower back, but there are some considerations that probably need to be made to stop any issues that might be occurring for you in your lower back. So the first thing I would say is potentially have a look at the golf swing technique that you're using at the moment. It might be of benefit to look back at some old videos of the old-time golfers with the classical golf swing. We see this left heel being lifted off and really rotating through with the hips. It's a great move to avoid excessive separation between the hips and the shoulders. When we release this left heel, we can really get this kind of right hip turning back and release all this separation. It's a great way to build a kind of a really long-standing golf swing that's going to give you good longevity in the game. The second consideration that I would definitely say is something to go away and think about is the more conditioned you are for this sport, the less issue you're going to experience when you're playing it. If you're fit, if you're strong, if you're mobile, if you're flexible, and you've got all of the right kind of features that you need to be able to swing the golf club, you're definitely going to experience less issues than if you're not conditioned for this sport. So go away, work on your mobility, flexibility, strength, balance, all of these areas. It's going to make a big difference to your golf swing as well, but also it's going to make you withstand the pressures of the sport. So in summary for me, no, golf is not bad for your back. However, a bad golf swing probably will be bad for your back, and a poor lifestyle probably will be bad for your back. If you combine those two things and you do it over many years, my guess will be you're going to have some issues with your lower back. But I think it'd be unfair to say that golf itself is the issue that's causing any problems you might be experiencing. So if you are suffering with any lower back issues, go away, have a little look at your swing, see if you can find a coach that works with building longevity swings. There's a lot of good coaches out there that are kind of specializing now in building swings that can be used for many, many years. And the second thing is go and work on your body. Make sure you're fit, strong, healthy, and able to play this sport at your best level.